NoDQ.com.
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 Welcome everyone to the Sensational Experience, episode number 2, here on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel. I am, of course, the Pennsylvania sensation, Greg Cherry. We're going to get right into the questions that you guys have sent in to me, so let's get started. Question number 1. This one is from Breaking Good on Twitter. His handle is This Is My Yard Now. When Sanity debuts on the main roster, which faction do you see them going against? Will there be a Shield reunion, or will it be against the new Wyatt family with Bo Dallas? I don't think they're going to go up against a faction. I mean, if you think about it, there aren't very many factions on the main roster for them to go against. I don't see them going after a reunited Shield. I don't see them... And here's the thing with the Wyatt family. I think the Wyatt family is a thing of the past. I don't think they're going to keep reincarnating it and just making Bray Wyatt always has to have somebody around him. It's like, no, leave Bray on his own, leave Luke Harper on his own on SmackDown, leave Eric Rowan on SmackDown, Braun's doing his own thing, and he's doing perfectly fine for himself. Bray Wyatt doesn't need a Wyatt family anymore. I mean, it's been overdone, it's been rehashed so many times. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. It's fine. As far as if they're going to face any faction, I think they're going to do what they're doing in NXT, and that's going after different sorts of wrestlers that aren't necessarily united. I mean, look at the last TakeOver special. They went against Ty Dillinger, Cassius Ohno, Ruby Riott, and Roderick Strong. And let's face it, they're all great, but they weren't exactly a faction. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to continue doing what they're doing in NXT. Maybe Sanity will win the tag team titles. I don't see Eric Young entering the NXT championship picture. I don't see him winning it before he gets called up. But that's my personal opinion. I think they're just going to face individual wrestlers on the main roster. That's what I think is going to happen. This next question is from Matt Big at MattBig123. What is your take on the RVD run in the WWE overall? Well, let's face it, RVD, when he first came to WWE, I'm not talking about the match he had in 97 with Jeff Hardy. I'm talking about when he debuted as part of the Alliance, so 2001. From 2001 until 2007, I believe, was the end of his first run. Obviously the best run of his career. He became WWE champion and ECW champion at the same time. He had a great run with the hardcore title. He got over huge. He main evented a pay-per-view, 3 months after debuting? That's not something that a lot of people do. I mean, Van Damme had a lot of support behind him. And maybe it was the 4th pay-per-view, but regardless. Van Damme had a lot of momentum. He technically beat The Undertaker for the Undisputed Championship. He had a lot of Intercontinental title runs, a lot of tag team title runs. His first run was fantastic. He had the surprise appearance at the Raw 15th anniversary, a surprise appearance in the 2009 Rumble, and then he wasn't seen in the WWE for a few years. The runs he had when he came back, if you want to call them runs, really they're kind of forgettable. I mean, I enjoy watching RVD as much as the next person, but there wasn't anything memorable about them. The announcement of him coming back to Money in the Bank ladder match, that was awesome. He participated in it. And after that, he did nothing. He had a feud with Alberto Del Rio, sided with Ricardo Rodriguez, and I mean, he didn't do much of anything. After that, I don't even remember what he did. Honestly, because it was that forgettable. His first run was by far his best one. No comparison. But But again, that's just me. I mean, if somebody enjoyed when he came back, so much the better. But his first run from 2001 to 2007, by far his best. And they did as much as they could with him because he unified the hardcore and the Intercontinental titles and the European title also. So technically he had like 3 belts at once. I guess. So is anybody with the Intercontinental Championship nowadays, but that is what it is. And from my good buddy, your good buddy, everybody's good buddy, Jeff Meacham, he has 3 questions for me. What do you feel was the biggest move in the Superstar Shakeup? This actually goes back to Bray Wyatt. Nobody was really expecting him to go to Monday Night Raw, or Orton for that matter. Obviously, Orton's still on SmackDown. But Bray Wyatt being on Raw kind of threw off the entire storyline he had going with Orton. And now, from what I understand, that match at Payback is not for the WWE Championship, which I'm sure I'll go into it on the prediction show for Payback, but what's the point? Honestly, the championship's not on the line. They're on separate brands. There's no reason to continue the feud. I mean, this is obviously going to be their blow-off, but I'm not even excited about the match. Number 1, we don't even know what the hell it is. Number 2, it's not for the title. So Bray's championship rematch is completely null and void. Kevin Owens' championship rematch is null and void. And somebody brought up the championship rematches aren't much of anything. It's like, unless you're John Cena or Roman Reigns, it's like you don't get championship rematches. Period. End. Maybe that's just me, but I think the entire Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton thing is stupid. That was the biggest move, but it also caused a ripple effect that made their match at Payback completely useless. It's like, if they put on a 5-star clinic, which I'm not expecting it to be, then that's fine, but to me the match has no meaning anymore. It really doesn't. And the only thing I think about when I think of the House of Horrors match is the Chamber of Hoarders. The Chamber of Hoarders. Check that out. You fill a chamber with people who just collect stuff over the years. No, a Chamber of Horrors match from Halloween Havoc 1991. If you don't know what that is, check it out. You will be disappointed. Sorry, Dusty. His second question, what was your favorite moment of WrestleMania weekend? Obviously, the Hardys. The Hardys coming back. Matt doing the full, not the full broken gimmick, but he was doing a whole lot of broken Hardy mannerisms. The delete, the wonderful at his entrance. It was just an incredible moment. And a friend of mine from work actually went down to WrestleMania, and he was telling me that it was just an incredible moment to see that. Also, I might get crap for this, but the Roman Reigns promo on the Raw after WrestleMania, just the crowd reaction. And again, my friend from work went to that as well, and he told me the Undertaker chant was going on for about 15 to 20 minutes before Raw actually started. So that chant was going for about a half an hour, which is insane that they were chanting Undertaker that long. But that entire 15-minute segment, it had to have been, with Reigns just bringing the microphone up to his lips and getting booed mercilessly, the crowd chanting at him, hollering at him. I mean, that was just fantastic. It was a solid opening to Raw. It was just so enjoyable. The Hardys and Reigns promo on Raw, both excellent moments. And reading his third question, he sent this to me, probably tongue-in-cheek, knowing my opinion on the matter. How long before you come to realize that Charlotte Flair is the true queen of women's wrestling? Okay, let me just say this about Charlotte. I think Charlotte is very athletic. Probably one of the most athletic women in the entire division, both Raw and SmackDown, and possibly NXT. Charlotte has done well for herself. I mean, she trained for about 18 months and was on the NXT roster. She's had fantastic matches. I mean, think about Charlotte versus Natalya for the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte's entire series of matches against Sasha Banks. She puts on wrestling clinics. I'm not going to knock her for that. as far as declaring her the true queen when she's only been on the main roster a little bit less than 2 years, I'm not willing to put that on. I'm not willing to do it for Sasha either, because Sasha's been there the same length of time as far as main roster status. And everybody knows how much I enjoy Sasha Banks. The only good thing about Boston. I've got to get so much crap for that from any fans from Boston. But the fact is, say that Charlotte is the true queen of women's wrestling, because I know you mean of all time. And you have to think of girls like the Fabulous Moolah. You have to think of Sherry Martel. You think of Trish Stratus. I don't know if you'd say it about any of the women in the early 90s, because, let's face it, the Women's Championship was kind of treated as an afterthought back then. Like, they weren't as held in as high regard as Trish Stratus and Lita. Which is weird to say because they were actual wrestlers. But it was a different time then. But Charlotte's still got a lot of work to do before I would even come close to declaring her the true queen of women's wrestling. So sorry, Jeff, you're not going to get it out of me. But you're not going to get it out of me to say that Sasha Banks is the true queen of women's wrestling. She's fantastic. Love her to death. And she's one of the best women's wrestlers out there. But I'm not going to declare a true queen until their career is over. That's just my opinion. Okay. Follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation. Instagram as well at PA Sensation. I'm not on Instagram very much. You're better off catching me on Twitter. Send in questions for the next episode. You can put them in the comment section and I'll try to get to them. Also, Facebook. I know a few people have added me on Facebook. Don't take it personally. I don't add people unless I know them. So do not take it personally. It's not a slam against you. But if I don't personally know you, I'm not going to add you. So I just wanted to clear that up. I hope you enjoyed episode number 2. I look forward to seeing you probably right before Payback with episode number 3. I'll be on the prediction show, obviously, but I'll be able to answer any last-minute Payback questions or any other questions that you might have for the Sensational Experience. And until next time, this is Greg Cherry. We'll see you.